1 year has passed. 1 year has passed since we were together, and I presented the roadmap we had 1 year ago. Somebody said to me the other day that when I was trying to prepare for this event, and they said, just use the one you used last year. They don't remember anything. They won't notice. So, but of course I don't do that, and I have to study and do a lot of work actually to find out what's happened the last 12 months. When you think of it, look back quite quick. It doesn't seem like much has happened actually. A couple of releases and a few functions and so on, but this actually happens a lot in a year. I think you can agree with that. But I don't think it's a long time since we were together in Gardermoen 1 year ago. But I have prepared a few slides. Hopefully go through them. At the end, we're going to use Kahoot. How many know what Kahoot is? Or, yeah, most of you know that. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So you probably have the app on your phone and everything, but I'll take it slow when we get there so everybody can contribute. Okay, I'll start out with this one, the 8 concept. You know everything about this, I suppose. I know. It was a big release, and now the voice is very high, now it's a bit lower. It was a giant step for SuperOffice, and I'm so happy we were able to do this giant leap forward, because it really was. It was, you know, it's fighting this big challenge of going into the cloud, this SaaS challenge. We could have been left behind if we didn't do that. You know that. It was introduced more, well, it's almost 2 years ago actually, but we're still in the middle of it, and I think Gisle explained it in a good way with numbers. But I think it created a platform for moving forward, definitely. So we're not finished in a way, but I'm really happy we, together with the partners, been able to create a cloud-based concept. Makes it possible to move forward and concentrate on other stuff in the same time, because the cloud transition took a lot of resources and energy from us for 2, 3, 4 years. So, you know this, what happened. We built all this stuff, still not done. And of course we think this is a good, we see it from the customers. We have getting more customers every year now than we ever got. They seem happy. We have lower churn. So it seems like a good concept. It's well taken care of. Well received in the marketplace. So where does that leave us? Be careful now. We can't be too proud of ourselves, because we just have to move forward, don't we? So that's, I wouldn't say left behind or behind us. We still have to move forward. We're still not completely done with the introduction of 8 in the marketplace. I think, I don't have the number in mind, Gisle, but is it about 50% that our customers have moved from 6 or 7 to 8 in total, migration or upgrade? Means still half of our customers are still running 7. And it's so important to get them onto the 8. And or in the cloud. And this, since I think we are thinking that we're done kind of finished with the 8 concept, but the customers are still struggling to get out there into 8, whether it's on-site or in the cloud. But moving forward, next years, we have to move. You consultants, salespeople, and everybody has to contribute to get our customers onto the 8 platform. And as Gisle mentioned, I think the GDPR functionality will definitely help us, because I had some questions from customers. Will we introduce GDPR functionality in previous versions of SuperOffice? And you probably know it already. The answer to that is definitely no. If you want GDPR compliance, you have to move to 8 and to 8.2. So, the challenge, the 3 main challenges we attack now in moving forward from 8 or on the 8 platform is meeting the GDPR challenge. You just have to do that. It's vital to our future. That's how it is. I'll talk more about that after lunch. GDPR after lunch. Oh. Looking forward to that. We have to add more content to what I introduced last year, the 2020 vision of SuperOffice. I'll get to that in a minute. And, as Gisle presented, more focus on the App Store, integration to online. That's vital for the cloud ecosystem that we are trying to create. Okay, so last year I introduced this, I call this the 2020 vision. And it was based on the need for every company to grow. That's what it's all about. If you're not growing, you're in deep trouble. Everybody knows that, any company. And it should be green these days, definitely green. Growth is about productivity. And productivity normally is about producing more with the resources you have in hand, whether it's machinery, people, whatever. Automation drives productivity. And this is not something new. This has been going on for hundreds of years through 4 industrial revolutions. What is interesting and kind of new today, or at least from the 60s, is that technology is the main driver of automation. And SuperOffice is technology. And all countries, organizations in the world are concerned about this. They have their own agendas to utilize, to digitize, to robotize, and to automate their production. And you see this. Can you remember this from last year? And our position is, of course, to use the technology to empower our customers in their processes within marketing, sales, and service. It turns out that the success in automating the industry, the production, is very good. And you see that in the German Industry 4.0 project. It's about the industry. It's mainly about production, making the production more productive. And maybe it's easier to do that than automating the customer processes, because production is about machines, maybe ERP systems, production planning, and they're easier to automate. Machines tend to do what they're told. Well, this is about people, and they not always do what they're told. So what is the reason? I think it's a great opportunity being in that part. Because this is I would say the talk of the town is to how to automate the customer processes in a better way. In the US, they're far ahead of Europe, but I don't think there are many big success projects in the Western or in Europe when it comes to customer process automation. But we talk a lot about it. The question is, what does it mean to SuperOffice? And this year, we're trying to fill that box with a bit more to see the connection and to see what we're doing to take that opportunity. The question is, why less success in customer production, process automation? Is it too difficult? Too expensive? Lack of knowledge about how important it is? How much it means to productivity? I don't know. Exactly. This is a lot of text, but if you read it together, I think we can cope. This is taken from one of the Bing analysts of this text, and it says, customer relationship management, CRM, is a combination of people, processes, and technology that seeks to understand a company's customers. It's an integrated approach to managing relationships by focusing on customer retention and relationship management, development. Okay? I like the idea of the combination of people, processes, technology. I can relate to that. The text becomes a bit heavy, but I can relate to that. I think it's an interesting topic. Okay, CRM has evolved from advances in information technology and organizational changes in customer-centric processes. Companies that successfully implement CRM will enjoy customer loyalty and long-run profitability. However, successful implementation is hard, mostly because CRM projects requires company-wide, cross-functional, customer-focused business process re-engineering. This is something for us, isn't it? Business process re-engineering. I think that was invented in 1990 or something, but they still talk about that. And I think it's because they lack the definition of what is the problem. It's too big. Let's see if we can narrow it down a little bit. And it goes on. Managing a successful CRM implementation requires a balanced approach to technology, process, and people. Thank you very much. That's really helpful. If you are a consultant, advisory consultant in a big company, it makes sense. I know that. But for us, delivering a nice combination of products and services at a reasonable, affordable price, this is not the right way of attacking, I think. Moving on to what could be our answer to this challenge, improving the customer automation processes. I think there is something about the people. It's the people stupid, isn't it? And it's also the processes because they are designed by people. There's not enough technology out there, isn't it? We have more than enough technology to do automation. We have done automation with our technologies in 1990. That's what we do. Think of Saint. It's so complex you can't use it. You don't understand it. And we delivered that, when was it, Eric? In 2003 or something like that? So maybe that's an example. Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's a paradox. I'll take that first. And our job in SuperOffice and partners also is to create more technology. So if the problem is people and processes, this seems like a paradox. But what if technology can make things easier for people? Maybe today's technology is too hard to use. Then it would make sense. Logic, isn't it? And it's a bit more precise definition of what the problem is, and it's closer to what we can do about it. And that's why SuperOffice has been so concerned about usability, making things easy to use. And it used to be about usability of the user interface, how to capture data with your hands, with the keyboard. That was the original definition of usability in SuperOffice. Because if the employees didn't use your system, the system was empty, and there was nothing in it, you didn't really have any benefit from using the CRM system. That's why the focus on the UI of SuperOffice was so hard. And we have won awards for that for many years, many times. Now the challenge is making automation usable. And that's a tough one, because I truly don't believe that artificial intelligence and machine learning is a simple answer to that. So we have to take automation and give it to the people in the same way as we did with the UI. Make it usable. Make sure our customers are able to use the tools we are creating for automation, or the features we are creating for automation. And we have a good starting point, because we know, I think it's in our DNA to make things simple, to make things usable. Not only 100%, but the starting point for us and the partners is very good to make usable features and functions. So back to this for a second. Last year, I said that SuperOffice would deliver standard software for customer process automation in our domain. And if you can remember that, I was a bit into artificial intelligence, machine learning. We just launched a pilot project. I think this was very interesting, and looked at how can we use artificial intelligence, machine learning to improve automation in SuperOffice. Forecasting was the pilot project. We analyzed 10 years of forecasting and sales activities in SuperOffice and tried to make good predictions, better forecasting. It was a bit hard. But it will be interesting to see the project. What we learn from this is that you have to master these 3 areas. And this is a kind of complex thing. Look at it as one person. Have to master the tools, which is machine learning, artificial intelligence, Azure, ML, whatever. It's pretty complex, some of these tools. You must understand your data, what they come from, how are they created, what are the mistakes. It's not coherent, it's not consistent, the lack of data. So you really need to understand your data. This is basic for analytics as well. And then you have to be very clear about what you're going to use it for. What is the purpose of this? And this is pretty complex. It's not impossible, but this is complex. So giving these 3 components to a customer and say, well, here you go. Here you have the tools, data you have yourself, and the purpose you have yourself. It's not going to work, I think, for our target group. And you have this. This is what I learned in school many, many years ago about computers. You have input, and you process it, and you have output. And I also learned that if you put garbage into it, you get garbage out. So if the data you put into such a process to do automation, to do analytics, is garbage, you get garbage out. As simple as that. So if the task is too complex, you're not able to give this process quality data to work with and quality programmatic rules. So this is hard. So I will not take away the possibility or opportunity that artificial intelligence and machine learning is something for CRM. But I think it's for bigger customers and far ahead. So our ambition is not to make artificial intelligence as usable as a SuperOffice user interface. It's not possible. It's the nature of this stuff. So now this one is changing. Did you see that? The contents of this box is changing to somewhat more closer to us topics, I think. I will talk more about customer self-service. I will not talk much about CRM script. I think that's covered, but it's a very important tool for automation. And for the right people, it's very efficient, and it's beautiful for the cloud because it's really built into the product. GDPR and privacy. It will drive some of these features, automation, algorithms, marketing automation, tools, and it also has to do with big data analytics and customer intelligence. So this is a bit more specific, and we'll see how we can deal with these things. I've used the term customer process automation a couple of times. Could be CRM, but for this, since others are using the same term, I thought for this occasion it would be nice to explore whether this is a term that is suitable for us. And I think look at it from 2 sides. SuperOffice traditionally is a tool that you give to the employees to make them more productive in work, more efficient. That's where we come from. It's a tool that you give to the employees of the company. And then you have some initiatives when it comes to providing self-service for the customer. We have customer service, which offers tickets, and I hate to say it, we did have Audience, which was introduced in 2016, and we actually won a prize for Audience and the idea behind Audience, but it was too early maybe, but that was also self-service for customers. So I think I will try when we make new things, look at it from 2 sides with 2 faces, one for employees and one for the customers. Because I truly believe that customer self-service should be a vital part of our offering in the future. But they're slightly different to build than building software for the employee. So I also use the term employee-facing applications, which reduces cost and increases productivity for the employees. On this side, you have the customer-facing applications, self-service, which will reduce cost and increase customer loyalty and satisfaction and increase your own productivity. So you gain more by offering strong self-service, actually, than you do when you offer productivity tools for the employees. Okay. So the idea, look at SuperOffice as you know it for the employees, and think of all the functions we have. We have different ways of explaining or drawing a picture of that. So everything from the diary, project, contact, persons, forecasting, service, marketing, all these functions that we put into SuperOffice, big and small. And then imagine you could make a cousin or a fetter, cousin? Fetter? That's a Norwegian word for cousin, actually. Cheers. A little brother or sister, maybe, or mirror this function into a self-service concept. If you look at documents, it should be collaborate with customers on a document. Contact information and GDPR, of course. Give them a self-service function to edit their own information. Forecasting, exchange quotes on a website, and so on and so on. So we should systematically go through all the functions in SuperOffice and see if there is a customer-facing equivalent, cousin, fetter. But just a switch in the brain. I don't know, focus on that. What could it be? And this is an opportunity for SuperOffice, but I think also definitely for the partners. Because SuperOffice is not the only thing that our customers have to relate to. These, if you look at these components, they have to fit into the websites of the customer. So they should be loosely coupled to our technology in a different way. SuperOffice for employees, you can't really take apart and divide into pieces. But with this concept, you have to do that. And then it requires a different technology. I'll come back to that. And just to mention it, I think we should do, this is the crab model. Can you see that? PowerPoint is good. We should do the same with the mobile applications. I think we should do more with mobile. And there's all the functions you have in SuperOffice, create a mobile equivalent. Everything from APIs to the actual functions, but they should be mobile. So it's the same idea, actually. And I don't think we're facing a major shift in our focus, but I think we have to add these two as an alternative to the focus on the employees. So if you like the idea, we can work more on that. Okay, so then just to illustrate this and bring it on a little bit more, I had this idea about creating a model where I should put everything we make into these boxes. What do we make for the employees, and what do we make for the customers? And what is technology and tools at the bottom? Here in the bottom, you see technology framework for internal use applications. This is what SuperOffice is using to create in the basic SuperOffice for employees. Page framework, net server, whatever it's in there. It's the framework where we have been using for many, many years to create SuperOffice. It's not the same framework we have here. The net server is there, definitely, handling external contacts. But on top of that, there's a different framework. And you heard about Skill, and it's going to be more built into that platform to support a technology stack to build customer-facing applications. One example, we have request handling, ticket handling in SuperOffice Service. And the customer-facing equivalent is, of course, the ability to create a ticket on the website for the customer. Simple as that. Okay? You probably understand the concept. So, quickly, if you look at what we have produced the last, or in 2017, you've probably seen this, Gmail link, inbox, live chat, pocket notifications, and put that into this, it looks like this. There's a lot of employee-facing applications in this. There's one feature that has two phases, and that's the live chat management, which has this live chat widget that you can place on any website. Self-service concept. So that's the idea. I'll come back to this when you see what we're planning to develop now and place it in the same model. So, we arrive on this one. What comes next? Chocolate. And we are now proudly introducing the SuperOffice 8.2 series. It's a series. I'll come back to that. It's not one release, it's releases every third week. And what's the background for this? Kind of interesting, I think, at least to us. The introduction of GDPR on the 25th of May kind of sets the scene. There's a lot of customers out there, online, on-site, waiting for functionality in SuperOffice and all other systems to help them get GDPR compliant, to execute the privacy rights. If somebody today comes, or a private person approaches a SuperOffice customer and asks him, can I see what data you have stored about me? Today's challenges. So we have to provide that features in SuperOffice. That's what it's all about. And they're waiting. And it's important for us to have a model, a message, and a release plan towards customers asking. So how do we meet these expectations? By building one big, massive 1.2 that consists of everything? No, it's impossible. We don't even know how to build these things. We don't even know how to interpret the law. And nobody else does, actually. So it's impossible. So we have to deliver this in small steps, get reactions, go back, improve, and make this a project where we collaborate more towards the customer. And to do that, we have to improve our development processes. We have to be much better at delivering every third week. That's a challenge. So I'll start with explaining what we do with our release processes. And I have to say then that we are now aiming at delivering both on-site and online at the same time. That is a challenge. That puts pressure on the way we produce and release software, definitely. So, short look back and see the development. This one is the old one. This is really old school. Main releases, and you know, we worked so hard. We had the fun for 6 months, and then we were doing bug fixes for the next 12 months. And it didn't work. It doesn't work anymore. Definitely not in the cloud. So we changed to a model called Online First, which we called the new school, where we put things in production internally. This is the main reason that we have to test the version internally in SuperOffice first before we release it to online. Because you can't really run beta programs in online. To some we upgrade 10% of the users in the beginning of the week, and then if it's okay, we upgrade the rest of them in the end of the week. It's not really a beta program. So we have to do the testing internally. And this is the main reason that SuperOffice Not is running CRM Online. If we didn't have to test the version ourselves first, we would have a big project and be running in online by now, I'm quite sure. But we haven't sold this one yet. So we'll see. Okay, in this, up to now, we will still have online releases, as you can see, the blue ones, as 8.1 came out now, and it's kind of the old thing for us. It creates so much energy to test and do the beta programs, and it seems like the interest in the customers and the partners and our subsidiaries, the interest for running beta programs is less. It's harder to run them. It takes even more time than it did. But that's how it is. This was then the new school, and now it's everything first. God bless us. So now you can see we still start with internal testing, and then it goes to online, and then go to on-site, and at the same time, hopefully, the partners. Maybe the partners should have been a bit ORP in the process. Oh, it's just another school. We had a project where we analyzed everything we do, every detail we do when we release our software, and say, what can we improve? Because this is not one or two big things that we can change. There is a lot of small things, some incremental changes, improvements we can make. And this is a kind of a picture, it gives the result of that process. And now we're working us through all this, step by step. It takes time, but we get better and better every third week. So how good we are when it comes to the summer, I don't know. I hope we're much better. I know we will be much better. But still we use quite a lot, and maybe too much resources to release. But we're really fighting hard to get this as smooth as possible. Okay, that's the release process, which we just have to improve to make this happen. But you're probably even more interested in how we organize the product release, I suppose. And this is, of course, the key to the future. Oh, that's a cheap one, but okay. The GDPR requirements was the starting point of this. Because it is important, as I said, towards the market and the customers. Not approaching this is not an option. Having the customers to wait for this, not having a good answer, is not an option. Then they will just go to somebody else and start the process to change SuperOffice to something else. So, the question is it only GDPR? Kind of boring. Well, let's see. What we saw quite soon is that, of course, we had to cope with these privacy rights that comes from the GDPR. This strict functionality that we have to implement in SuperOffice. Like, I want to see my data, and I want to correct my data, and I want to portable data. It's not very complex. We do have to rearrange some of the data and the structures in SuperOffice to make this easy. But it's really not a big challenge. What we saw is that offering subscription management, which is a vital part of consent part of GDPR, that's actually marketing automation. That's what I talked about last year. So now we're implementing subscription management in SuperOffice, which is a marketing function. Should have been done many years ago. But for some strange reason, we haven't. And probably because the customers have ignored the privacy rights, because this is subscription management and the law is not something new. You know that probably. And it's also about forms, because when you need a consent, you definitely need self-service somewhere on the web where the customer, the user, can tick off what he's interested in or if he's not interested at all. It can be in an email, but it could also be on any website of SuperOffice, if you talk about ourselves. So that means this pushes the concept of customer self-service. You just have to offer that. Some of our customers have huge requests, lots of requests for insights in privacy information. It has to be self-service. We need, I said it, we need to restructure some of the data in SuperOffice, because I wouldn't say that contacts information, personal information is scattered around in the SuperOffice database, but we have a strict, very strict structure with the company card and persons, and we also have a different person table in customer service. So we're running a personify project in SuperOffice to make it more consistent, and maybe even to have persons living besides the company card. We'll see. Data quality. Since everybody's concerned about data quality or GDPR privacy, the quality of the data will increase. definitely. You cannot have different sources of customer tables in the company. You can't keep customer data in Excel sheets or access databases or anything. Everybody will concentrate on having the correct data in one database. So we have to support data quality features, merging persons, identifying new duplicates, that kind of stuff. And logging is a vital part of GDPR. You will ask, who changed that phone number? Who deleted that person? When? Maybe even why? When did you get that consent from a person to send in marketing? When did it change? And so forth. So we're introducing extended logging in SuperOffice, not only for GDPR, but a more broad-scale logging system. Okay. So as you can see, this is definitely more than GDPR. We will have a GDPR compliance functionality in SuperOffice. We will have marketing automation functionality, more flexible model for persons, customer self-service, extended change logging, data quality, and a lot of general features that we'll clean up. So this is a big release. And the market opportunities here is you need to go to 8. So this will drive migration to online, because that's where you find 8.2 versions. Migration to 8 for those who haven't on site. And it will, of course, create new projects for migration and GDPR compliance. So I think this is an interesting time for SuperOffice and the partners. It will create a lot of new opportunities and generate revenues, new apps. We'll back to that after lunch. So what's the plan? How, when will you see this? Yeah. There's one slide before that, just to tease you. Competition, it says. You know that we will, when we look at our large international big competitors, we'll never beat them on technology. I mean, there are thousands of programmers, and you're using basically the same technology as they are. So it's hard to beat them on technology. We can't beat them on more features. It's also very hard, because they can add any feature they like. The size of the implementation project, hard. Number of employees or size of company, hard. International presence, hard. So, but we can definitely beat them. All of them, and we do, almost every day, by designing software that is easy to use. And this also relates to the GDPR. And of course we can beat them by excel in also these other things. I think it's a good culture. We have good salespeople, the best. And so forth. And we're close. We are Europeans. We're born Europeans. And I think that matters somewhat. This patriotism and the Brexits and everything that's going on. It's not a bad thing to be a European company in these GDPR days, at least. I would say it's better than being an American. We'll see. Always been. Huh? No. But we have ambitions in making this usable. And when we do GDPR in SuperOffice, we do it deep, consistent, and with a lot of energy. We're investing 50 million NOK, 5 million euros in this GDPR project. So that's what we're trying to do. So that SuperOffice, when you hear about GDPR and you hear about CRM, I think that SuperOffice is the best. And I think we're on our way. This is what a release plan looks. You will also have a glimpse of the functionality here. Erik and Sverre will come back to that after lunch. So I will not use a lot of time on that now. I'll just give you... My intention is to tell you when things are coming. And in Q4, we will have a version that makes it possible for the customer to start, get moving, build a quality system, identify what kind of personal information they have in their company, and so forth. Start massaging them, deleting what they don't need. That's the intention of P1. privacy 1. Migrate the database into 8.2. So you get a good start. On 2, get personal. We have to change the data structures related to contact persons. We will build Saint for persons as an additional feature. And then you have these forms. The self-service part is starting in interactive and dynamic web forms, designer and the widgets. And then we have introduced the privacy rights, which we call Go Public. And now we are very close to the 25th of May. So it's a good idea to have all these 4 deliveries before the 25th of May. Gives us a good reputation, I think. So now you understand why it's important to trim our release processes. Because, of course, we will... Oh, no pictures, no. What was I going to say? Call the factor. Okay, and there's still something more to come. We don't really know what that is going to be introduced, but you will probably see new improvements in these GDPR functions and this concept throughout the whole 2018. We need feedback from the customers, and the customer needs something from us to get started. The Windows client will, of course, be GDPR compliant. It will probably not be offering all the GDPR functions, but don't worry, we have so many Windows users out there, and that doesn't seem to move very quickly away and over to the web, so it will be compliant. Travel Satellite and Oracle will also be that. Okay, so just a quick view on when you take these functions that this consists of and put into this picture, employee-facing, customer-facing, looks like this. Still focus on employee, but there's a growing number of customer self-service function. You will have this picture later. Okay. Yeah. I think I'll be on time. I have some ideas about the future. I will present I think it's 13 different topics, because we're not done yet with 8.2. So what comes after 8.2? And I would like your advice. I will be quite brief, because 13, so I can use 1 minute on each or something, or even less. So you have to sharpen your brains and your pencil. This is how it's going to work. I will present 13 different topics. And for each topic, you must decide whether you think this is very important, 1, fairly important, but only if there's time and resources to do it, and 3, no, not so important. So now you have to take a piece. You all have a notebook, so you have to take it up and a pen. So I will go through 13, and you will have to put down 1 to 3 for each of the topics on a piece of paper. And after I'm done with all the 13, I will challenge you, because you cannot put 1 on all of them. Then it doesn't work. And you will see the results. So you have to prioritize. That's the hard part. This is what makes my job so interesting and tough sometimes. Because priority means saying no to something, or wait at least. So you can do a summary or prioritize them, and then we go to Kahoot and just put them in. Doesn't take long. And you see the results immediately. Okay? Are you ready? Any questions? Yeah, the management team in SuperOffice has done this. So when we're done, we can see whether you... And this is not for the employees of SuperOffice, it's only for externals. Oh, we could do a separate one, okay. But the management have done this, so we can compare. Okay, GDPR. The question is, how important do you think this window of opportunity is? Are we exaggerating, or is it really that important? Remember that CRM, I think, is about persons. CRM, the R is relations. Relations only exist between persons. So having control over the privacy information, personal information in SuperOffice is vital for doing CRM, doing relations. So it's not a question if you do privacy management in SuperOffice or in any CRM system. You just have to. But that's okay. How important is it? Data is the new gold. Marketing automation. You know there's a shift. There's still a shift going on between going from marketing is eating sales, less salespeople, more marketing, self-service, e-shops, Buyer 2.0. They changed behavior. You start on the net, you don't talk to people, so there's more digital relations than human relations. How important is this? ZIP, sales and service. This is about, you know that there's still differences between sales and service. You know, you all know the history. So there are small deficiencies, discrepancies, whatever you call it. We know that if we merge these two clients, we put these, build this as one client, there will be some synergies. And we will get rid of some of the nuisance we have in today's two clients, logging in and difference. So how important is this? Look at it from a market perspective. What are the customers asking for? That's, of course, related to all of these topics. Customer self-service. I think I explained what I meant by that. Do you like the idea? Do you think it's important? Is it an important part of the productivity? I mean, it's perfect leaving the job. Like in the banks, they have increased productivity by masses because they left the job to their customers. Good idea. Mobile CRM. Imagine a world where there was no PCs around, and you should do CRM on a mobile, even if it's getting large. What would it look like? Shall we go in that direction? Do you think that will happen? How important is building out, extend our mobile application to meet possible trend? Not with everyone, but a large portion of our customers. How important is that? The App Store business. It is a solution enhancer, and it provides real value to the customers. And SuperOffice, it's the core of SuperOffice priority, strategy. We cannot solve everything ourselves. We are a relatively small company compared to the big ones. We really need partners to extend and enhance, create real value. It's also a shopping window and a part of an ecosystem. And is it like when I noticed that some customers, they look for big names in there sometimes, like Evernote. Oh, you don't have an integration to Evernote. Why? And I'm using Evernote. Okay, if you don't have, I don't see an integration to Evernote, then I can't use SuperOffice. You don't have a chance to talk to them. They just look in the shopping window. If they have the wrong color on the trousers, then you move to another shop. You don't go in. How important is the App Store? SuperOffice Expounder platform. We are dreaming about a cloud for doing customization, where you log in, have direct access to customer databases, test drives, test environment, all the, you could use CRM scripts for building standard applications, not only one-off. A selection of tools working in the cloud. in a life management so that when you're done, we can automatically generate tests and provisioning into the App Store when things are... Yeah, yeah. Okay, you think this is important? Thank you, Atle. Internet of Things. We haven't spoke so much about that, but what is it and what does it mean for CRM? You know, this simple example I use sometimes. If you are a producer of a jacket, you put a lot of sensors into the jacket. It's a stupid example, I know, but nevertheless. These sensors, they track where you are, how long you've been using the jacket without washing it, whether you have holes in it, whatever. Is that interesting for SuperOffice? That kind of information? Of course it is. If the provider of the jacket takes this data, massage it, and gives it to SuperOffice and says, this jacket hasn't been washed for 3 weeks, can you please inform this customer, this user about that? He can buy, or he needs to, wax it again, or buy a new one, or whatever. Because we handle the relation towards this customer. We are customer communication specialists. But we need the input from the Internet of Things guys, whether it's a jacket or machinery or a CRM online solution, where we analyze how our users are using our product, and then turns that into action in SuperOffice. So, I believe in Internet of Things and CRM. But how important is up to you? Office integration. You know what it's all about. How important is that to SuperOffice? Is it going to be more cloud collaboration, even more? Are the on-site going to disappear? Do we need more integrations? Do we need to improve the invitations system of SuperOffice? How important? Business to consumer. It's coming up from time to time. If you will have my personal view, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Selling to consumer is a different business. It's online sales. It's not relations like SuperOffice is good at. Emails and meetings and quotes and everything. It's a different way of selling. Different methods. But you might be of a different opinion. Maybe I should have presented that in a different way. Okay, but you have your own mind, opinions. So how important is B2C? I might be wrong. Social networks, social CRM, social media, better feeds, better integrations, notifications. Should we do more? How important? We probably should do more. But how important is it, do you think? On-site deployment. As Gisle clearly showed, 90% of our customers choose the cloud platform. It's the preferred future platform, no doubt. But on-site, for how many years is it likely that we have on-site in 2025, is my question to you. 1, yes. 2, maybe 3, no. So it's a slightly different meaning of the one. Online platform and operations. Today we run locally and are very happy with Visma as the hosting provider. And it hosts in Norway, but it's a local provider. We know that it's an alternative to host our solution in Azure, still together with Visma. How important is that? You know, the EU and Azure, we can still have our data in Europe. It gives SuperOffice a lot because you have elastic computing and cost control in a different way. But is this a perception among the customers that it's is it something out there saying that Azure is good and local is bad, or local is good and Azure is bad? I say Azure because we have chosen Azure as the future platform. New services are built on Azure if it's the right way to do for us. But currently we don't have any activities moving online to Azure. But if and when we're doing it, it's going to be Azure, not Amazon or Google or anything, just to mention that. Is it important to move to Azure or be a world player? Does it create confidence, better security? Do the customers like it? Is it important? Okay. Now you can look at your votes, maybe reprioritize if you have too many ones, or twos, or threes, or whatever. Just look through it. While you go to kahoot.it, launch a browser and go to Kahoot.it. This is what you're going to see, for those who haven't done it. First, you have to enter the game pin, which I will show you in a second. Done that, you have to enter a nickname, which could be short, whatever. And then you should have the message, "You're in." And then we start playing. For each question, you will have something like this, and red is 1, blue is 2, and the brownish is 3. Now I'm just waiting for the players to show up. Where's the fetter? The fourlet. Still growing. Okay. Then I think we're ready to start. One player left. Are you ready to go? So let's play Decision Makers. Now we have 20 seconds. On the third question, you will only have 10 seconds to answer. Okay. A lot of you agree with most of you agree to the focus on GDPR. Okay, you will have the results afterwards. But, marketing automation, how important? A little bit more divided. Interesting to see. This is good input, Erik. Number 3, SEEP sales and service. Merge them. Now it's only 10 seconds. Yeah. How can I comment on that? Happy, fairly happy with what we have, but still, we should do something. Customer self-service, new concept. Yeah. Very few think it's uninteresting, at least, so. Mobile CRM. Yeah, show some interest, at least. Quite high. The App Store business. A bit more in the middle than I expected, actually. Maybe we should add a profitable App Store business. That would be easier to answer, huh? We know the challenges, and Gisle touched on it. We're going to look into that, but it's a challenge still. Expand the cloud platform. You probably see it will increase your productivity, I hope. Good. Internet of Things. Next year we need some examples from you guys. This is typically partner stuff. Oh. I'm not a sales guy. Yeah. I'll prepare better next time. Now it's interesting to have your votes. Office integration. Still very important. Business to consumer. Yeah. We could have some interesting discussions with almost 50 people here, so that's good. 2 more. No, 3 more. Social CRM. Average. Not uninteresting. Some think it's very 25%, 24% think it's very important, so that's actually a lot. Do we have on-site in 2025? Oh. Gisle, was that you? Okay, yeah, I was kind of expecting a different answer, but that's interesting. We're leaning forward, definitely. Last question. How important is it to run on the Azure platform? Good advice. Thank you. Thank you all. This is valuable to us. It's the first time we do it, and you see the results. We'll distribute them afterwards. Food for thought. Definitely. So now it's food for body. I suppose they're going to say something before lunch, but thank you. Thanks for your attention.
All right, thanks guys. It's been a very nice 2 hours. Hope that you enjoyed the content that Gisle and Guttorm had to present. We're going to go ahead and break for lunch, and we'll start again at 1300 sharp. 1 o'clock. See you then.